We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It's Saturday, and as so often the case on Saturday, our guest is Ed. Ed, thank you for joining us today.
You bet. Look at my hand.
Wow, that's
No,
crazy. That's
I
60 psychedelic shit. Ed, you have to excuse me. As I told you when I came on the air, I am fucking angry as shit,
yeah, you're
and
pissed off, and you should be.
and I should temper what I'm going to say, but I'm not. I've been concerned about this prospect. I'm on TikTok, as you know,
Mhm.
and as you are. And I've been
Yeah.
doing TikToks for 4 years. And then I've been getting these notifications from TikTok saying you could get taken out of the creator beta fund, which pays me a little bit of money for what I do, um, um, because your videos are unoriginal. And my point is, it's me, an old man, sitting in my fucking living room, coming up with words in my head and saying them out of my mouth. How could it be any more original? So they kept making these threats, and today I got notification that they are taking me out of the creative beta fund, which means whatever money I made up to this point for this past month, they aren't going to probably pay me, and they aren't going to pay me for any future videos. So, for the folks watching this on YouTube or wherever you happen to be, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to post very little on TikTok. If they refuse to pay me anything, I refuse to make them any fucking money. You can find all the same videos, you can find all the same content on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. And I push YouTube because that's the easiest one to deal with and probably the best one because you get the videos and you get the podcast. So I had to get that off my chest. I'm fucking tired of the bullshit. There's a bunch of fakes out there and they get away with it and they come after me for just doing the fucking job I've been doing for 4 years. So I am fucking angry.
Yeah, let me just clarify two things. Number one, when Mike says there are fakes out there, that he means that there are other people claiming to be him. They're pirating what he does. And they changed the rational boomer thing just a little bit. One of them has like an underline and a one. I've seen that one,
Right,
and
right.
others. So it looks very much like Mike, like it's his standard thing. But they're clones of it, if you want to put it that way. That's number one. Number two, to the TikTok management, I don't know this guy. Okay, I'm not in any way affiliated with him. Just send me the money.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
absolutely.
No, I'm kidding. What I think we should all do, folks, is send an angry little note over to TikTok and say you're abusing the rational boomer because he's being exploited by these people that you could delete. You know, look for the original and delete all the others. It's on you, TikTok. It's not on him.
Yeah.
Police yourself a little bit. You didn't hesitate to police me when I used a direct quote from Donald Trump and warned me that that was bad, that I would be penalized if I continued to say things like that. A direct quote from Donald Trump. So, obviously you have your problems, but in this case, it's an easy fix. Just fix it. Get rid of the clones. Get rid of the bad guys, and give Mikey's due. He's making you money. Come on, be
And,
intelligent about this.
all right.
And
Enough.
everybody, just say what I said and send it on, or words to that effect.
I appreciate that. And enough with the Mike pity party. Let's talk about what's going on. There's a
We can
lot
talk
of shit.
about my pity party.
Well, oh yeah, you had a car accident. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, it was a fender bender. It's okay. I'm gonna go buy myself a new car as consolation. So,
That's
or at
not so
least a
bad.
late model used one. I got a line on a very nice one that I might do that. We'll see. I'm taking a test drive later today.
Okay.
So could have been a lot worse. No one was hurt. Both cars still drivable and everything. But
Whose fault was
and my
it?
wife, oh, definitely mine.
Oh, okay.
Definitely mine. I'm fessing up right here.
Good for you to
Um,
admit it.
when I pull out of there's a street that I live on, sort of, but it dead ends into my property. So the city doesn't think it really is a street, so they don't plow it. Fortunately, we don't get much snow, so it doesn't matter. But the when I pull out, both my neighbors have shrubs, so I have to kind of inch my way out. And it was early morning, still a little bit hazy and I won't say dark, but I couldn't see very well. I looked one direction, I looked the other direction, and I pulled out straight into the side of a minivan that had come up over the hill in that short a time. So they were probably going faster than they should have. But, my front end hit his front side end, and that was it. We called the cops and both drove away. So no problem. No. So I'm good.
Yeah. I'm glad you're good, and life goes on, and you'll get a new
Yeah.
car, and all will be good. Um, we got a lot of shit going on with Donald Trump, and
Have
I've
you
said
ordered your Bible yet?
no, I haven't. Wow. I mean, how egregious is that to during Holy Week come up with a Bible, throw the Constitution and the Pledge of Allegiance and all that stuff in it, package it, and try to sell it for $60. And then I heard this story that Donald Trump is now making excuses for the book itself, apparently because of the way the thing was made, probably poorly, that
Definitely.
the pages are sticking together. Oh, that's common. Don't worry about that. Happens all the time when you put the gold gilding on the side. So
If you do it cheaply, it is.
yeah,
It's
it's
gold. They use gold paint, obviously, and
yeah,
and it will rip. Yeah, I've seen it before. Cheap books will be that way, right? And he's been having them made in China. I'd be willing to bet any amount of money that he's having them made in China, and
absolutely.
they're spraying them on, doing as cheaply as they possibly can. And I'll be honest with you, if there is a pastor of any stripe out there who is encouraging people to buy these things, he needs to give up and go work in a garage or something,
Yeah,
where he can actually do something worthwhile. Because you are betraying not only your faith, your creator, but your flock. So knock it off, you morons.
right.
Come on, at least try to put out the image of a real pastor. If you're dealing with Donald Trump, you're not. Sorry, there's no way around it. But this is way too blatant, okay? You're just
Yeah.
putting money in his pocket. And that's probably the idea. There are plenty of these right wing churches out there who want to give him money, and they technically can't. But this is a great way to buy these Bibles and hand them out to their flock. It's just a money laundering thing.
It's hard to imagine every time we think he's sunk to the depths, he goes another step further. It's just fucking
That's right.
amazing.
There are no depths. Um, what was it there? I can't remember the guy's name, but well, you remember the overnight show that dealt with Art Bell dealt with
Right, right,
the
right.
really weird crap. There was this guy who discovered this hole on his property and in it
Mel's
or something.
hole. Mel.
Mel, that was it. And there's no bottom to it apparently. Well, that's
Right.
where Donald Trump lives. Donald Trump lives in Mel's hole.
Well, he sinks to the depths again. He has a gag order put on him by
Yeah,
Judge Juan Marchand, and in the gag order it says he can't talk about court members, their families, the witnesses, the jurors, some of the prosecutors. He can't do anything like that. So what does he do? He comes out and he starts railing on Judge Marchand's daughter, making up shit, literally making up shit and going after
yeah.
her. Those, again, are the depths of despicability, if that's even a word. And he's getting away with it at this point. I have a feeling that Juan Marchand isn't probably too humored by this.
No, and I think sometimes two observations. Number one, sometimes I think he's actually pushing them, hoping to get arrested so that he can, hang on the bars and claim, look, Navalny, they've locked me up. It's election interference or whatever, But
Yeah.
also, he's also his relative married niece, I guess it is, Mary Trump
Hmm.
says that his father always told him, "You always got to punch back. You always got to punch back. You can't take it. You always got to fight back." So she says that's kind of built into him, that no matter what, even if he realizes it's going to probably come back to bite him, he can't stop himself. from going back again. That's been his modus operandi forever, and it's worked for him so far. So I guess he figures he might as well keep it up. Always, always, always. Never give up. Always fight back, no matter what. Even knowing you're in the wrong, especially knowing you're in the wrong, which he always is.
Well, and he will no doubt violate the gag order. Do you think Juan Marchand will actually do something other than what we've seen in the past, a shitty little fine or being admonished or called in for a fucking lecture? Do you think something will be done here? I have a feeling that because it's a criminal case, it's got to be more severe.
I hope I'm of two minds. I would like to see him smacked down, but I'm also leery of him being able to fundraise off the fact that he's in jail, because he's fundraising off the Bibles. He's anything that's ever been adversely affecting him, he fundraises off of it some way or other, because he has, quite frankly, the MAGA Republicans and some others, I guess, are, especially them, though, they are so gullible, they would send him their firstborn if he asked
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Well, the important thing to understand though about the fundraising, it's starting to fucking dry up. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not getting the fundraising from corporate America, from the wealthy. Even the Trumplafucks are having slowing down what they're paying him. We had this event the other night with Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. It was said to be
yeah,
the largest fundraising event in history, and it was. They got
yeah.
$26 million. Now, what's important to understand about that $26 million is that it is um, more than Donald Trump fundraised in an entire quarter. So
Right.
there's a quite a discrepancy. We can talk about polls and all this shit, but when it comes to fundraising, that gives you a good data point to figure out how much support you have. And it looks like Donald Trump's support is fading financially.
Oh, absolutely. We worked in public radio. We know how it works. We used to get the ratings, right?
Right.
And they would show public radio always in the toilet, but public radio also had to raise all their operating funds. So I always said, and I still maintain, public radio ratings come in during pledge drive. Those are your ratings. You don't give a crap about the others. If the people care about you enough to give you money directly, then you're doing something right. If they're
Right.
giving you enough to keep doing what you're doing, that is a vote of confidence in you. That's the only poll you need to worry about. And in this case, it's almost similar. If people are willing to give money to Joe Biden, it's because they have confidence in him, and they think it will make a difference and that he will be reelected. So yes, it's very much a poll, and a significant one.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I said in a TikTok earlier that it must be excruciating for a narcissistic, sociopathic uh, criminal to wake up every morning and get his ass kicked. But that's where we are
Yeah.
with Donald Trump now. Financially, image-wise, Donald Trump is having to come up with this huge bond. And I know you wanted to talk about them lowering the bond. So go
Yeah.
ahead, go off.
Well, it really ticks me off. I mean, he keeps getting this deference, and I don't understand it. There was no reason that the appeals court judges should have reduced that. There was no incentive for them to reduce it, other than I don't know, to make them to curry favor with Trump. What could it possibly be? It just strikes me as really stupid. If I go in and so the judge hits me with $1,000 bond, I can't go to an appeals court and say, I just really don't have $1,000 on me right now. So could you lower that? They'll say, screw you, go do the time.
Right,
That's what they do all the time. But
right.
when you get big enough, you get deference. And it ticks me off big time. He should have had to come up with every penny. And when he couldn't, they should have taken the properties.
I have this feeling about that lowering the bond. I don't know that
Okay.
that's what Donald Trump wanted, and I don't know that he can even come up with $175 million. He came up with a $91 million bond, and his finances are limited, his resources are limited. I think what Donnie really wanted was for them to say, you don't have to put up a bond and we'll stay it until the appeal is done. That's really what he
Right,
wanted. But now, and the reason I say that is because when they came out and said they lowered the bond, he wasn't crowing about it. He wasn't yelling about it.
right.
He wasn't excited. Oh, yeah, I'll pay that. Well, we'll see if he
Yeah,
pays it. I don't know if he can.
right.
Um,
Well, if he can't, that's great. That would be a also. I don't ever take his plane because it's a Boeing.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Boeings are not the way to go apparently lately.
Yeah, but and that's actually something we can talk about. It's off the topic, and we don't need to do it now. But the whole idea of what happens when corporations take over industries, and you see what happens. Safety goes down, everything. It's always a negative impact when a corporation or especially a hedge fund takes over anything at all, because the idea is to suck the life out of whatever it is. They're like giant leeches. And the idea is just whether it's healthcare, where I live, or and that, oh, I've got a Tennessee update. You're gonna love this one. But anyway, I'm all over the place. But basically, any Boeing is a good example of when a corporation or a corporate entity or a hedge fund takes over something, and how the product suffers.
Right.
Always.
Well, and that's kind of, the thing that the Republicans are always talking about. We got to get rid of regulations. We got to get rid of regulations, and so people can just make their money. But without those regulations, we get people um, out of greed, just stealing money from people. The quality of products get to be less. The Republicans can scream about control over these companies, but we really need it. We can't trust them to do the right thing.
No, not at all. And I'll have an upcoming TikTok about that very thing here shortly, either today or tomorrow. But yeah, as far as fundraising and all of that goes, I think Trump raised about 8 million in the time that Biden raised 26 million.
Yeah.
Um, and most of the Nikki Haley people, there have been several after Nikki dropped out who have switched their funding to Joe Biden, who
Hmm.
were Republicans who were supporting Nikki Haley. Now she's not in it. They switched over and have been encouraging other people to do it as well.
Right.
It's only the My Pillow guy and a few others that are still whole hog for the guy who used to own um, the home repair place.
Home Depot?
Not love Home Depot. That's the one. He's still in there. There's a few of those guys around, but even the Koch brothers, I don't think are supporting Trump anymore, or
No, they
Koch
pulled
brother.
the Koch brother pulled away and supported Nikki Haley, and then when she kind of bailed, they pulled it away from her. So I don't know where the money is,
Yeah.
but I know there is a group of wealthy folks that are putting up 50 million to fight against Donald Trump. Not necessarily for Biden, but say don't vote for Donald Trump. I mean, that's kind of what I've said all along. Everybody talks about Donald Trump having this great possibility of winning the election in November. There has never been a candidate in my life that has had so much going against him. I mean, from
Mm-hmm.
fundraising sucks, from people stepping away from him, from part of the Republican Party saying we will absolutely not vote for him having to go on criminal trial, going to be in court from April 15th, probably till November every fucking day. And then when he gets a conviction, that changes everything. How can anybody think this guy has great prospects? I mean, Gary Hart had a girl sitting on his knee and he was done. You can't tell me that Donald Trump has any hope in this fucking stretch?
I don't know. I always paraphrase H.L. Mencken, who had his own problems, but he did say, "You'll never go broke by underestimating the taste of the American people or overestimating." So
Right.
yeah, it's never a sure thing, but one has to hope that we've learned a few things. I mean, the MAGAs make a lot of noise, right? But ultimately, I think they are meaningless. It's just if they can sway some other folks that it makes a difference. And I'm beginning to think they're swaying fewer and fewer. We just saw the Florida election where the lady, or rather Alabama election, where the lady campaigned exclusively pretty much on IVF and abortion and won handily against a special election against a Republican opponent.
Right.
That is going to be huge. It's going to play huge all across the country because even Republican women want autonomy. They want to be able to make their own decisions, and they want to be able to get health care if they friggin' need it.
Right. Right. And, I think you make a good point. This is a state seat in Alabama, but it really says a
Right.
lot. It should be a red flag to the Republicans. Here's a woman in Alabama, which is probably the depths of the Trump-la-fuck red army. And she goes in, and I think she ran last time and lost by 9 points. And then
Yeah.
she comes in this time, tells her story, how she had to go through an abortion issue because the child was unviable and it could hurt her. And she went through it. She talked about how tough it was. And in the depths of Alabama, she comes back and wins by 25 points. That says a
Yeah.
lot. And it
Let's talk
says,
about,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Let's talk about that for a minute. These southern states primarily, but they're also out in the west too, where you have very conservative legislatures, okay? And that they do nothing for the people of their states. As a matter of fact, they do the opposite. For example, now North Carolina just finally expanded Medicare, see, or Medicaid. They get all this federal money. If they expand, all they have to do is put in place a little bit of administrative stuff. It usually costs about a couple of $1 million, something like that. And then they get a huge amount of money to help people get insurance that are normally on Medicaid, right? Well, a lot of them just turn it back. Tennessee is one that does that. They have never expanded Medicaid. They're hurting their own constituents, especially people who don't have a lot of money, by doing that. And people die because of it, because they can't get the health care they need, right? And so they don't do anything anywhere where you have a Republican governor, a Republican legislature, all they're doing is cutting taxes so rich people don't have to pay them. That's their function. That's all they do. But the other thing they do is come up with all this social drama to mask the fact that they're not doing anything to help the people of their states.
Right.
Tennessee right now, for example, what have they been up to? Well, they banned chemtrails, which don't exist. And at the same time, they provided no mechanism for enforcing that, mind you. They just banned them. Okay, we passed a bill and we banned chemtrails in Tennessee. You can't do it. Okay, but like I say, no enforcement mechanism, nothing, and it's non-existent. There are vapor trails, but there are no chemtrails. We're not trying to change the frigging weather, you morons.
Yeah.
I'd love it if we could, but we're not doing it. Okay, that's not a thing. And then this week, what did they do? They banned scientists from sprinkling vaccines on vegetables in supermarkets and getting people vaccinated by sprinkling vaccines on fresh produce. They banned that. So something that was never happening, that would be ineffective if it did happen, they banned.
Well,
That's what they're up to.
well, and the thing about it is, it's so appalling is that they know it's bullshit, but they
Oh yeah.
think that the people are so stupid that they'll buy into it. And apparently some people are, and they're just using it to further their own fucking agenda. It has nothing to do with reality. It's just perception. And that's one of the problems I've had with the Republicans all along. They're very performative, but no substance. No fucking substance at all.
Right. Now, here's a real world application where you'd think they could see this, okay? Joe Biden was able to pass an infrastructure bill, and some Republicans even signed on. It was a bipartisan bill, but a lot of the people who vote against it are try to claim credit when the money shows up, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, we did this, Congress did this, but of course they voted against it. It happens all over, and I'm hoping the Democrats in every state are saying that. Well, Marsha Blackburn, yeah, it's nice that we got this money, but you had not a damn thing to do with it,
Right.
bitch. but that's a good way to say it. But the right now, near where I live, there's a bridge that's falling down, just like the one in Baltimore. Only it wasn't a ship hitting it; it was just old.
Right.
Okay, and apparently GPS sends a lot of trucks over it for some weird reason, so it takes a little bit more beating than it should. But it's getting ready to fall down. The emergency services have already said we're not going to cross that thing, which means people who live on the other side is probably going to add 30 minutes to an hour to their response time for emergency vehicles, whether it be fire, police, or ambulance, anything like that, because they're afraid it's going to fall down. And right now, I think it's limited to a certain tonnage, but I wouldn't drive across it.
No.
Now, the infrastructure bill sent Tennessee $320 million specifically for bridges. They sent Tennessee $5.8 billion for general highway maintenance and upgrades and fixing stuff. And that money's just sitting there. Now, Governor Bill Lee and his fellow traffickers, or whatever you want to call them, in the running dogs, lackeys in the legislature, have announced they're going to go for $1 billion corporate tax cut. So what they're looking to do is take that money that they're sitting on, along with the anti-poverty money they're sitting on, and they'll use that to throw some tar in potholes that won't last the winter. But then they'll use that other money for this to offset that tax cut. That's what they're looking for here. At the same time, they're looking to approve vouchers for religious schools and turn back federal education money. So they're doing everything they possibly can to make Tennessee the poorest and stupidest, and it's close already, state in the union. They're going for the big one. They're
Yeah.
gonna break the records here. And North Carolina went the other way. I applaud them. Thank you, North Carolina, for not being totally friggin' stupid and giving some health care to people that really need it. If you are a Republican, if you are even close to the center of one way or the other, that should tell you everything you need to know. Republicans hate you. They want to take everything you have and deny you everything. Democrats are for you. They want to build the bridges. They want to make the roads work. They want to improve industry. They want to give you health care. That's the difference that you need to see. Because all the Republicans doing are giving rich people more money, and they don't need it.
Why do you think? Why do you think it's so hard? I mean, the Republicans say all the quiet things out loud. They're in your face doing horrific things, but yet there's still people that just can't see the light and just keep following them. It's like lemmings going off a cliff.
They don't pay attention. They watch Fox News and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even watch that. It's on in the background. Then they hear this or that. They hear Democrat evil, God love Republican. That's what they hear.
Yeah, it is difficult. And I guess this whole process we're in with the Democrats and the Republicans, there is a learning curve to it. I mean, eventually people will realize what the hell is going on. Unfortunately, it takes a process because, as you say, people don't pay attention and don't think. Once they start getting pinched in the ass, then maybe they start to react. And I think we're going to see more and more of them get that. I think on the other side of the coin too is once the Democrats take control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, of course, once a lot of good things starts happening for them, I think you'll see some of those people finally going, "Hey, that's pretty fucking good." And then there might be some defections over to the Democratic side.
Well, I certainly hope so. But sometimes people just don't remember right. I saw a lady who should never think of voting for a Republican on TV saying, "Well, I got a check from Trump during COVID, so I'm for Trump." You know, but of course, Trump had nothing to do with that. The
No.
Congress sent that out, but he got signed the checks. So
Yeah.
that's if you're
Yeah.
not paying attention, you don't know the difference.
Well, and let's be
And
perfectly honest. I've said this before. The reason we are where we are, and this is not just Republicans, it's everybody in general. The reason we are where we are is we've been apathetic for decades. We've said, oh, the government will handle it. Oh, they'll do it because we voted them in, so they must be honest. And now all this corruption and criminality has been bubbling to the top, and all of a sudden we're going, fuck, what's going on?
right. And for some reason, well, the other thing is that beginning with Reagan, that's where everything went to hell. Let's face it.
Agreed.
Media has been more and more corporate. So they sin not necessarily by commission, but by omission, by not. I'm sure you know because you pay attention to stuff. But how many people do you think know that last week the Federal Trade Commission came out and said the inflation is corporate greed? Half of it.
Yeah.
Corporate greed. They just raised the prices because they could, and they used the actual little bit of inflation as an excuse. But they just raised prices because they could, and they're still there.
Well, that's what I'm
Because
wondering is that, when we had COVID and all this stuff and the prices were raised on certain things and it was justified by COVID. And then when COVID went away, people kind of said, I kind of like this. Why would we pull it back? Just let it ride
exactly.
and then let inflation continue to take it from there. So they changed the starting point from us under COVID situations, and they never pulled it back after they
Well,
raised it up.
well, the 5 or 6 corporations that control our food did two things. They raised the price and they cut the amount in the package. And they
Right.
made out like bandits in both cases, and they still are. Why do we have an FTC if they don't have any teeth? They should be able to go, and the president should be able to do this, and maybe he has go to. Well, I know Biden has already said he's going to raise taxes on corporations and so forth, but it should be harder than that. It should be bringing them all these executives, and there aren't that many of them, put them in a room and say, you're cutting your price. I'll give you 10% above what it was before COVID. I'll give you 10% because I'm a nice guy. Otherwise, we're busting your ass up. You're going to
Well,
be like mom and pops all over the place.
well, and
And
again,
do it.
and
Pick one.
and
Pick
and,
one.
and again, this lays inflation right at the feet of the Republicans, because the
Exactly.
Republicans
Exactly.
tell corporations, just do whatever the fuck you want, run roughshod, assuming that you're going to do the right thing and the best thing for the people. Well, we've proven that they don't do that. So without some kind of regulation, out some kind of enforcement with the FTC or whoever else, they're going to do whatever they want, and they're going to be as greedy as they want and take as much out of your hide as they can possibly fucking get.
Well, yeah, and I think they should take aim at, say, example, the healthcare industry. Like
Yeah.
there was a councilman in Nashville recently who he had some kind of he had to go to the emergency room. He had a serious problem. He went to the emergency room, and he was in the emergency room for over 7 hours before anyone even looked at him. And of course, he was livid about the situation. But it turns out, when you look at, I should probably say that in where I am, it could have been Nashville because it was Ballot Health is the local monopoly, and it is an actual monopoly. But the states of Virginia and Tennessee got together and said it's okay for these two healthcare giants to merge together and become a monopoly as long as they toe the line on certain things that we'll keep an eye on. But of course, they haven't.
Right.
They were supposed to do assign a huge amount of money for charity work, as in if a poor person comes to the emergency room, or goes in the hospital and can't pay the bill, it's covered, right?
Right.
Well, every quarter now, the governor just says, no, that's okay, you don't have to do that, and cancels that charity spending. Of course, he's big buddies. One of his biggest donors is the guy who runs this monopoly. Um, but they need to come down. If corporations are people, they need to hang one. They need to execute a corporation. They need to destroy it. They need to obliterate it. just to show, and then they need to hang up what's left so the others can see it.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's past time to do this. If they're people, skin one.
Well, and it's kind of what I've said about the judicial system generally in this country. We all had these ideas that the judicial system was tough, the DOJ was tough. Oh, don't do that, or don't step over norms when you're in the White House or in Washington, D.C. Then Donald Trump and the Republicans trampled all over that shit and exposed the judicial system, the DOJ, and government in general of having no teeth, and they don't push back
Right.
against anything. Anybody could do whatever they want if they had the audacity to try it. So now they have
Right.
a problem. Now that it's been shown that they don't do anything, now everybody will do whatever the fuck they want, Democrats included. There does have to be some accountability made. There does have to be a time when somebody gets hung out to dry or a bunch of people get hung out to dry. So people have that norm or that barrier saying, I better not do that or I'm fucked. But that doesn't exist right now.
No, it doesn't. And the corporations are ruling the roost. They have to be slapped down. We've done it before. Teddy Roosevelt started the ball rolling. Franklin kept it rolling, and then the Depression helped. The corporations, the monopolies were broken up for a while, but beginning with Reagan, they just let them start just accumulating businesses like I collect shiny rocks when I go to the beach.
Right,
You
right.
know, I mean, uh, um, that's why we have 5 or 6 corporations controlling our food, 3 airlines, and so forth, so that we don't get service, we don't get safety. The workers don't get the amount of money they should get for the work they put in. They work longer hours. They get fewer benefits, if any at all, because we have allowed these corporations to function without competition.
Right.
Break them up, make them compete, restore the tax cuts before Reagan to 90% on capital that you don't reinvest, and you watch how quickly they find ways to reinvest that money and to raise the boats of everybody. That's why the 50s and 60s were a great time for working people. We had unions and we had the tax structure that encouraged reinvestment, not buying yachts and more yachts and more yachts and bigger yachts. That's the and islands to park your yachts. This is why we have to break up, destroy the millionaires, break up the corporations. Here comes utopia.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've said to people before. I said, this election in November is the most important election ever. We seem to say that a lot, and it is the most important. But even if we get everything we ask for in November with the House, the Senate, and the presidency, we got a long way to go to get dig out of this shithole that the Republicans put us in.
Absolutely. I mean, having the little traffic accident I had put me in mind of the fact that, to me, that's an inconvenience, right?
Right, right, right.
And for the guy whose van I hit, it's an inconvenience. My insurance is going to pay for his van, to be fixed, right?
Right.
My car will, I'm either going to trade it or it'll be fixed, whatever. Because I can afford the insurance and so forth. But if I were a working man around here right now, not retired, and I was working in one of the factories where I'm working a 12-hour day, 7 days a week for $15 an hour, $12 an hour, whatever it may be. Maybe I can afford collision, maybe whatever. At any
Yeah.
rate, and if a car, you're driving a car, you're trying to keep it rolling, it's in an accident, it can't be fixed, you're screwed. And how do you get to work? Maybe you don't. Maybe you get fired. It can upturn your whole world. I have to thank my lucky stars that I've been able to. I'm in a position where it doesn't destroy my world to have an accident, to have an illness, and that sort of thing. We have to get to the point in this country where what is a minor inconvenience to some people isn't a life-changing disaster to others.
Right.
And right now, we're not at that point, not anywhere near it, but we can be. and rich people can still be very, very rich and buy whatever they want. They just can't be billionaires who fire their cars into space just because they feel like it, while people are living on peanut butter and jelly and praying they can keep that rattletrap car as theirs going another year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ed, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast, a robust round of commentary and conversation with one of our favorite guests, Ed, who's joining us today for this Saturday. And Ed, there's so much shit going on. You know, our House of Representatives, after coming up with a
Yes.
budget plan, said, that's a lot of work. We need a 2 week vacation, which is what they took, and they'll
Yeah.
be back in maybe a week or so. Uh, and you would think, with short time before the election and having just taken a 2 week vacation, you'd want to do some stuff, get some shit done so you look good for the election and do something good for the country and good for the people. But that's not what the Republicans want to do. All they want to do is try to push along their bullshit agenda. The first thing I wanted to bring up is that Mike Johnson let Chuck Schumer in the Senate know that they will be sending along articles of impeachment for DHS Director Mayorkas. This is fucking
Yeah, and
hilarious.
Schumer said, could you send a pizza too, so to make it worthwhile?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he didn't really say that, but he should have, because it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's why bother? They're not going to do it. They're
He did.
not. They don't have the votes.
He, yeah. Schumer didn't actually say that, but I bet you Moskowitz does.
Oh yeah,
I've
for
learned to love
sure.
that guy. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
so the whole dog and pony show they had for Mayorkas really proved nothing. I mean, their hearings are all the same, no evidence, no witnesses, nothing at all. And then they're going to send it along to Chuck Schumer. You think Chuck Schumer is even going to put it up for a vote, or does he have to?
I'm not sure on that. I mean, if he doesn't have to, he certainly won't. But except to make them look like idiots, I suppose. But this is more of what we were talking about before with Republicans. They're just, it's busy work, and it's not even that. It's ridiculous crap that they keep doing to make it look like they're doing something, so they can go home on that 2 week vacation and we're fighting for you. We're impeaching Biden and Mayorkas, and everything is going to be great because we're fighting for you. And it's bullshit.
Yeah, it is absolute bullshit. And the thing about it is it's a desperate attempt to find anything against the Biden administration in hopes it's going to help them in the election. Fact of the matter is, nothing is going to help them. They have done nothing that's positive for them. They've tried to
Nothing.
take down the Democrats and never work. And since we're talking about it, the other big news that they're going to try to do is they've invited Joe Biden to come be deposed in the impeachment inquiry. Now, the
Yeah,
response
that's going
from
to happen.
yeah, the response from Biden's team was basically trolled them, laughed at them, and made fun of them, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Which is what they should do, because they're ridiculous figures, and anybody who sees them as anything other than ridiculous figures. There's a book. It's called "The Confederacy of Dunces" by a guy named, I think it was John Gregory Toole was the guy's name. It's kind of a catch-22. It's a funny book. But I just love the title because it's so descriptive of the House of Representatives, especially the Republican side of it. But there's a few dunces on the Democratic side too, but not nearly as many. Plus, the Democrats actually has leadership that will tell people that's stupid. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. The Democrats have much better leadership, and they will steer the weak links of their own party in the right direction. Republicans will not do that. They are in fact ruled by the weak links in the Republican Party. I mean, the MAGA element, which is basically what, 6 or 8 people,
Yeah.
but they have such a narrow margin, which is getting smaller all the time. Even after we talked last time about Mr. Buck
Right.
resigning, then another guy came along the next day, and I'm still waiting to see if some of the others decide, heck yeah, let's just get the hell out of here. That would be just tremendous if they decided to do that. But at any rate, a Confederacy of Dunce is very much descriptive of the Republican side of the House of Representatives.
Well, Ken Buck said something kind of ominous when he resigned early. He said, I won't be the last one. And he was right because Mike Gallagher comes in and resigns. But yeah, you have to wonder if there isn't a certain faction of the Republicans that are just appalled by what this uh, party has become. And they want to try to get away from the stink, the stench as quickly as they possibly can. I have a feeling that at some time after they get back, we might see a couple other people resign early just to make a point. They don't see their
That
future in
would
the
be
Republican
terrific.
Party, so fuck them. We're just gonna fuck them over. That's what Gallagher did. He could have gone out
Mm-hmm.
before April 2nd and there would have been a special election, but he waited till April 19th. So there's going to be nobody in that
Yeah.
seat. Ken Buck fucked over Lauren Boebert and the Republican Party by walking away from the fucking thing. And that margin is so slim now, it's going to take one or two more people. And then Hakeem Jeffries is the fucking Speaker of the House. And Mike Johnson doesn't have to worry about getting kicked out by Marjorie Taylor Greene because Hakeem will fucking do it.
Right. And, I mean, Boebert's not going to be back
No,
after this next election. She doesn't have a chance of getting reelected.
no.
And there are some others, I think, in that MAGA group. I mean, Matt Gaetz may be in jail by then, or at least expelled because of his moral turpitude, because he is under investigation once again by his own people. So we'll see. I think they see him in the same, like George Santos. They see this Gates as somebody who's tarnishing tarnishing the image of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, which is really a tall order.
Well, it's interesting. It seemed like they'd had enough of Matt Gaetz, and they were embarrassed by
Mm-hmm.
Matt Gaetz, and they were going to run him out on a rail, much like they did George Santos. But
Yeah.
now Ken Buck and Gallagher leave. Do you think that saves Matt Gaetz from getting kicked out?
It might, but it might not. I mean, they've already got this rolling, and if it rolls, then I mean, the facts don't change, do they? If they have these supposed phone records that are very, very illuminating on his part about having, a very improper relationship with a young lady uh, not of age,
Yeah.
and actually involved with trafficking. So he could even wind up in jail, which would be super great. I just love when that's Shakespearean.
If the
When
Republicans had the ability to play 3D chess, it might be beneficial to them to allow the Democrats to take the majority. And here's
Yeah,
why.
it
They've
might be.
they've
Why?
accomplished nothing. They've accomplished
Right.
nothing and they've looked foolish. And when it comes up to the election, they're going to have to deal with that. And it's not going to fare well with them. So if the Democrats take control and they can do whatever they can to obstruct everything they can do, then they can see, well, the Democrats didn't do anything. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
crazy fucking concept, but that's so typical of a Republican strategy.
Well, I mean, if the Democrats are smart, and they are, they'll point out that we were going to fix the border, but then you wouldn't go along with it. You
Right.
decided you would rather have a broken border. As a matter of fact, Obama tried to fix it. We had legislation then that you wouldn't pass, and so on, right up the line. We've been trying to fix this forever, but no, you just love that issue, don't you?
Yeah.
And they need to. I've even heard people on Fox say that. So maybe of course, then they're their great leader, Donald Trump, just tells them to come on over to Truth Social or OAN or whatever and says Fox sucks, you know, and they'll
Right.
go along. We know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everything they do seems to fail, but they keep doing the same things over and over again. I think isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing
It
and
is.
expecting something different to happen. It's I don't know.
Well, it's like the hamster on the wheel. Once you get it going, what are you going to do? You
Yeah.
know, you just got to keep going, or else come to a complete stop. And they don't seem to be able to do that. They can't. They have nowhere to go. They've painted themselves into a corner, as it were, and they're stuck there.
Well, after they tried to impeach Mayorkas, which won't work, well, they impeached him, but
No.
it won't go through the Senate. And then when they try to get Joe Biden to testify, which won't happen, then they have to address the issue of the vote of no confidence for Mike Johnson. And
Yeah.
that puts everybody in a bad situation because there is no hope of any. I mean, they had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get Mike fucking Johnson. They ain't got nobody else that's going to get the votes. So theoretically, um, we could be without a Speaker of the House for a period of time. That's why some people are saying, well, maybe the Democrats will save him. Now, I know they've had a bad taste in their mouth for that, and they
Yeah.
have not done that with Kevin McCarthy or helping Mike Johnson at all. But there's one issue that has to be addressed, and without a Speaker of the House, it cannot be addressed, and that is funding for Ukraine.
Right.
So theoretically, people are saying the Democrats are going to Mike Johnson. We'll save your punk ass, but you better get us money for Ukraine. And what's Mike Johnson going to do?
Yeah.
He's got no fucking choice.
Yeah. And this is the thing: can he deliver enough votes to do that? Is the question. Um, will he have the power to, if they were to save him, could he marshal enough votes to, because they would also, I'm at this stage of the game, I don't even know if Israel is going to be a part of it.
Right.
Because I
Right.
can tell that Joe Biden is about up to here with Netanyahu. He may be up to here,
Right.
actually. And that's probably a good thing, because Netanyahu needs to go. I mean, Chuck Schumer was 100% right. I support every word he said. I mean, Chuck Schumer is Jewish, and he
Right.
is a very, very devout Jewish man. And if he's fed up with Netanyahu, then Netanyahu needs to go. He needed to go. He never should have been back in power. He is nothing but he's basically a criminal. He came that close to getting convicted. Next time, maybe they'll get him. He's of the same Trump um, kind of style, who walks that edge of illegality all the time, has forever. He needs to go.
Well,
And
I think that's where people, people hear about Netanyahu and they don't really know much about him. Oh, he's the leader of Israel. What people have to understand is that Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, is basically an Israeli Donald Trump. That's who he is.
yeah,
He's criminal. He's far right. He doesn't really represent the Israeli people. How he got to be in power again, I don't fucking know. But he is the problem in this whole situation. There'll never be a resolution while Bibi Netanyahu is in charge because he doesn't want it. He's like the MAGA fucks. He prefers the chaos and the violence and all that shit. And I know there's Jewish people out there will be mad at me, but because I'm not picking sides in this thing because I don't know enough about it. But I know this is a bad guy and something needs to be changed.
right. And they see, those who support him see him as a figure of strength who will protect them. They have a parliamentary system, so they have to have someone who can unite both the extreme right and the extreme left and the many parties in between, and get enough of a coalition to rule. And he's the only one who's been able to do that. So it's easy to say who has to go, but then you also have to find somebody who can replace him and unite enough of the different diverse parties in order to form a government and rule, and function. And unfortunately, as unpleasant as he is, He's the only one who's been able to do that recently. They need to find some way to change that, but that's their lookout, right?
Right.
But we don't have to fund it, is the thing.
Right. Right. And, Joe Biden has been pretty tough on Netanyahu and has done a lot of things to benefit the people in the Gaza Strip and is trying to get some ceasefire. All these people that claim Joe Biden is Genocide Joe and all this stuff is fucking ridiculous. What's the alternative? Donald Trump? Donald Trump basically told it that he would let Israel do whatever the fuck they want. So,
He used the words "final solution," I believe,
right. And,
which is about as offensive as you can get.
So if you're one of these people that's mad at Joe Biden for doing the things he's doing and you see Donald Trump as an alternative, you're a fucking idiot. You're absolutely
Exactly.
misinformed and a fucking idiot. My stance on what this fight is about. I mean, this fight's been going on for decades, and it's religious in origin and all that stuff. But at this moment in time, in this fight, it is really, in my mind, between Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin. People say Vladimir Putin. How is that possible? Well, Vladimir Putin in supports Iran. Iran supports
Mm-hmm.
Hamas. the
Hamas.
the
Mm-hmm.
money and the power and the warfare have come down through that channel. They want to create this mess. Vladimir Putin wants this mess because it takes the eyes off his Ukraine massacre. It's all a big fucking
Right, and
game.
right, you have the U.S. bringing a ceasefire resolution to the United Nations Security Council. Who vetoes it? Russia and China.
Right,
They
right.
love the mess. They want the mess. They're not really supporting either side. They go with the wind. Whatever creates the mess is what they will go for.
Yeah.
Um, and that's exactly what happens. I mean, usually the U.S. is the one vetoing Russian resolutions about that kind of thing, right?
Right.
This time it's their chance to get their own back a little bit, so they veto a ceasefire resolution that we put up, Russia and China. That tells you all you need to know, really. But people are misinformed, as you say.
Well, it shows you how insidious things are. We've got OPEC
Mm-hmm.
raising gas prices for one reason this time of year to try to make Joe Biden look bad.
Yeah,
Vladimir Putin trying to take the eyes off of Ukraine, but also trying to make it difficult for Joe Biden. Joe Biden represents a serious enemy to fucks like that. And we should be able to recognize that and support Joe Biden against these fucking dictatorial fucking thugs that are around the world. This is a big game in the international scheme of things, and there's more to it than you see.
absolutely, always. Um, Ukraine, I will say this: anyone who says that we should not be supporting Ukraine is not right, or you
No,
have some sort of ulterior motive. Because if we don't stop the Russians in Ukraine, then it will be Poland, and then it will be direct. We will have to be involved directly. The moment, and Poland is, I remember that's when World War II went crazy, is when the Germans invaded Poland, right?
right.
And they know they're in the crosshairs. So are the Balkans. Um, if we can destroy the Russian army in Ukraine, which we can do with the money that is proposed, give them the tools. They are doing a great job. Russians are running out of soldiers. They're drafting people, that they wouldn't have looked at 20 years ago, and taking people out of prison and putting them in a uniform and sending them off to fight. They're on their last legs with just a little more effort on our part, because if we stop them in Ukraine, we stop them,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is this is so typical of Republicans. They never look beyond the end of their nose because they're not
Right,
substantive, they are performative. Oh, it's too much money, we can't afford it. We can give 2 trillion to rich people as a tax break, but
right,
let's not help Ukraine. And like you say, if you can't recognize the dangers of not helping Ukraine, you're just not paying attention or you're just fucking evil. Like you say, we need to neutralize Vladimir Putin. He is a cancer on this world. And the one way we can do it and also save the people of Ukraine is by helping them out. And as you said, if we don't help them out, he'll overrun Ukraine. He'll go to a NATO country. And once that happens, then we're definitely involved. We have to be involved. Then we're looking at a third world war. So does that suggest to us that Republicans are anxious for or egging on the possibility of third world war? Well, their behavior is showing that.
Certainly. And we also know that electing Donald Trump would mean the demise of Ukraine as an independent country, and
Absolutely.
also the Balkans and probably Poland.
Right.
And probably he would try to pull us out of NATO. I don't know if he can do that unilaterally or not, but he would certainly try it. Another thing to look at here is what happened in Moscow recently, and that was this ISIS incursion. I thought Donald Trump destroyed ISIS,
I
but
thought so too.
apparently,
I'm sure he said that.
yeah, I think he did. He eradicated ISIS, but here they are killing 187 people, I think it was, in Russia. Of course, and this tells you all you needed to know about Putin if you didn't already know. What does he do? Even after we warned him, this is coming, they're going to kill a bunch of your citizens. What does he do? He lets it happen, and then he tries to blame it on Ukraine and us.
Maybe you can enlighten me on this. I had a lot of people coming to my page saying, how come you're not talking about the Russian Civil War? And I saw people on TikTok, I saw people in other places saying the civil war going on, they're attacking such and such, they're attacking such and such. And people say, why aren't you talking about it? Well, if I go to the mainstream media, nobody's talking about it. It sounds like some kind of conspiracy theory or some bullshit, but there is no information about it. Did you hear anything about that? I don't know what that's about.
I have not heard word one about it. There are, got to remember that there were a lot. Russia invaded Afghanistan, was there for a long time, and really we created a lot of the what we now consider. We supported the Mujahideen, remember them, who
Right, right.
then kind of became the people that took over Afghanistan and became terrorist organizations. They always were, I guess, but
Yeah.
at least they were fighting the Russians, so we were supporting them, but we gave them the equipment and so forth. And then when we came in, they're willing to fight anybody who comes into the country, as we all would be. And then they will also go outside the borders of their country to strike harm if they can, which is, I assume, what's happening there. Other than that, I don't know why they have something against the Russians. But remember, Russia was a cobbled together. Russia itself, of course, has always been a country, but all of the other Soviet republics that they controlled, Turkmenistan and all of those others, were, countries they had conquered. So
Right.
any sort of civil war is always possible, I assume, as regions reassume identities, much as Ukraine did after being under the Russian thumb for, generations.
Yeah.
But I know nothing about a civil war. I, remember the guy whose plane fell out of the sky. I think they were close to a civil war right there. He controlled a large group of military, which is, had a lot of money out of Africa in oil and diamonds and so forth. The Wagner Group that he controlled. So maybe there are other figures along those lines. So maybe there is some sort of civil war going on in there, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, it wouldn't be surprising that there was some kind of uprising going on in Russia with how badly it's going,
No.
with the financial situation, the food situation, their kids dying in Ukraine. Uh, I'm surprised if there isn't a civil war. I'm surprised there's not. There may ultimately
Mhm.
be. I mean, can Vladimir Putin can hold on to power only so long when an entire country is working against you. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't have any facts on. Um, Suffice to say that Russia is a fucking mess. And if there was ever a time we are going to neutralize Vladimir Putin, and I think anybody with a reasonable mind would say we need to do that, now is the time. And the time is to do it with Ukraine because they were fighting valiantly and doing pretty well against Vladimir Putin. So we need to get them the money. And it goes back to what I was talking about uh, with regard to Mike Johnson. Do the Democrats save Mike Johnson, keep him in the speaker's position, so we can ultimately get some funding to Ukraine? If that's the only choice, I think they should.
The prospect of civil war in Russia doesn't please me as much as I despise Vladimir Putin, because they still got nukes, and a lot of their nukes are in some of these republics. These Soviet republics used to be part of the Soviet Union. They're still under Russian influence to a degree, but they have their own strong men as well, and the nukes are there. They have control of the ones on their territory. I would prefer not to have nuclear weapons in the hands of madmen if possible. And
Absolutely.
quite frankly, if ISIS and guys like that can get their hands on them, they will not hesitate to use them.
No, no.
So anything we can do to prevent that, I am for. So I'm definitely against terrorists getting their hands on nuclear weapons. And I think we should have warned Putin, which we did. And so we have obviously a pretty good handle on what ISIS is up to if we're able to warn Putin that this is coming, right? So that's comforting to a degree. But at the same time, to then have him turn back and try to use it against us is very troubling to me. But I do not want, I want somebody to be able to have a handle, to be able to stop somebody from firing a nuclear weapon at my head.
Yeah. I think
That's what concerns me the most.
that's a reasonable request. Let's move to a different topic. As much as we were unhappy about Donald Trump's bond being lowered, on that very same day there was a meeting with Judge Juan Marchand. They had the trial date tentatively set for April 15th after Donald Trump pulled his shit with the documents coming out at the last minute. And
Yeah,
it turns out that was a Republican fucking ploy. It wasn't the DOJ as much as it was Republicans or Donald Trump's team anyway. But they went to a meeting, and Donald Trump's team wanted to delay that hearing for another 90 days beyond the April 15th or 90 days from that point. I don't know. And Judge Juan Marchand says, fuck yourself. We're starting April 15th. And he admonished
yeah,
the lawyers for coming up with some stupid bullshit.
yeah,
So I think in that regard, Juan Marchand isn't going to be somebody to be trifled with. That court case, save for Armageddon or something horrific happening. That case is starting April 15th. And as far as I'm concerned, that may be the kill shot for Donald Trump. You can worry about all
yeah.
these other trials. I'm not. We just need this one to get convictions. Donnie's done.
Yeah, that's my. We saw the polls, if you trust polls at all, but that one I kind of do. People saying, "Nah, if he gets indicted, I mean, if he gets convicted, not indicted, he's already
Right.
been indicted 91 times. Although they knock some of those down, so it's 70 and some whatever. They if we get a conviction, a number of people, maybe to the right of center, whatever, will say, "No, he's a criminal. I'm not voting for him," and that
Yeah.
will help.
And we're not talking about the base. The base is never going to change
No,
their mind, but the more
no,
reasonably minded, quote unquote, reasonably minded Republicans are going to say, well, that's too far. It's ironic that it's taken to this point for them to say that's too far, but it makes common sense that a conviction will change a lot. Now, Donald Trump is charged with 34 felonies. Alvin Bragg has a conviction rate of 98%.
mhm,
I've said if Alvin Bragg has a bad trial, a bad day, and only gets half of them,
right.
17 criminal charges, that pretty much paralyzes Donald Trump and anybody who
We hope
supports him.
so.
Well, it's got to because, he's going to appeal it, of course, and he may not be in
Yeah,
jail, but just by virtue of the convictions, knowing what's ahead of him, It's going to crush him emotionally and ultimately physically. I just think that's going to be the breaking point for Donald Trump. Uh, and over and above him coming up with the 175 million dollars. People always say, "Well, they lowered it, but he's still going to have $250 million locked up in a fucking an account that he can't touch and will never get back. It's
That's a
still
lot of
out of his hands.
Bibles.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of
motherfucking Bibles,
Bibles.
a lot of
And
Bibles and tennis
sneakers, a
shoes.
lot of sneakers. Yeah,
I,
for sure.
so this is becoming a lot of pressure for Donald Trump. Um, I've often said I think he's going to drop out or just be incapable of going forward because the crush will be too much.
We certainly hope so. Now, there is this lifeline that he seems somebody they seem to be throwing him to a degree with this merger of Truth Social with this non-existent company that has some shady background to it, and everybody's saying, well, it's going to be this gigantic $6 billion lifeline to Trump or not or whatever. But number one, he can't sell the shares, and for what 6 months or something like
6 months,
that. And
right?
even if I really gotta say, anybody who buys this shit is going to wind up with some lint in their wallet. I can't
Yeah.
see this because Truth Social has the lowest group of members of any. I mean, there is nobody as low as Truth Social membership wise,
Yeah.
and that even people that are investing aren't members. So how can you? It's a product that nobody wants.
Well,
So how can it actually make money
it's
over
ba- it's
other?
it's basically a meme stock a la GameStop. It's just people hyping
Yeah,
it up. People that are big Donald Trump fans. There's a lot of problems with this IPO. Sure, it's up about 4 billion or what $5 billion, but Donald Trump cannot sell anything for 6 months. He cannot loan against it for 6 months, and then after that 6 months, he's limited how much he can sell, based on how much trading is going on. So he can't take a whole bunch of it and sell it. And secondly, if he does sell it, then the fucking stock crashes. And then everybody else that's invested
right.
takes a hit. Now, Donnie isn't going to give a fuck about that. But what people have to understand, this valuation that they keep throwing out there, it had some criteria. That $5 billion or $6 billion valuation was set, assuming this was done a while back ago, assuming that in 2024 they would have 10 million followers, and in 2025
Yeah,
they would have 20 million followers. It is 2024 and they have less than a million followers, so they aren't performing very
right.
well.
400,000.
And while the hype is
I
up,
think 400,000.
yeah, and while the
Mm-hmm.
hype is up now, it's going to fade real quickly. Whoever invested in that is going to lose a shitload of money. And by the time Donald Trump gets in a position where he might be able to take money, it may be a fucking penny stock by then.
Well, this is what gets me. Rich people want us to think they are really smart and they got rich because they're really smart.
No.
But you look at this guy who just went to prison
He was
for
really
the
smart. Sam
yeah,
Bankman Fried. Yeah, he was a smart guy.
yeah. And all of these people who invested with them who lost their shirt, they were smart people too,
Yeah.
in theory, but yet they were dumber than crap because they see this crypto miracle out there is going to make them all kinds of money, but nobody really knows what it is, and blockchain this and all of that, and I don't know about you, but half the people that are on TikTok want to sell me this crap. No, go away, leave me alone. And you're not smart. You're getting it's three card Monty on a grand scale.
Right. Right.
It's just anything that looks too good is too good. And this Truth Social deal to me just stinks to high heaven. And I can't imagine how anybody except the truly deluded or maybe the MAGA extremes will invest in this. It's like the trading cards. Do they really think they're going to be worth something? One of them will be someday, but the
Who
rest
could,
of them are trash.
who could ever imagine that Donald Trump, a former president of the United States, a former billionaire, could ever be involved in a fucking scam or a
Yeah,
failed effort? Everything Donald Trump has ever
yeah.
done has failed. Everything that's been done, he's failed. And he's going to fail with this thing too. It's just another thing. Oh my God, we're real worried. Donald Trump's going to come out of this looking like a hero. No, he's not. He never fucking does.
Mhm.
He always
No.
loses. I mean, if I was him, I would have an insecurity problem like nobody's business. I keep trying,
Mhm.
I keep failing. And Donald Trump is insecure. That's why he covers it up with his narcissism. But for fuck's sake, if you invest in Donald Trump's shit based on what we know and how poor performing, this fucking company has never made any money. How can you take a
No.
company? Put it this way, the Rational Boomer podcast has made a few bucks. We haven't lost any money. My valuation should be fucking $10 billion. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Mhm. How much of that do I get?
I'll
Oh,
give you, hey, if I get $10 billion, I'll give you half. I don't fucking
uh,
care.
there you go.
Done deal.
Buy, buy now. Get in while you can. Rational Boomer going to the moon.
And I won't even be like Donald Trump, where at the last minute I try to fuck you over. I won't even do that. It's
That
just,
goes without saying. Did you ever try to actually eat a Trump steak? Did
no,
anyone? Yeah.
no, no. I think what I will tell you this. I think that with the Trump stakes, while he failed with it, I think somebody won with it because I think those Trump stakes were later turned into Crocs shoes. So somebody made out on that motherfucker.
There you go. It's just there are guys who do that. They buy up failed merchandise and reconvert it into stuff and actually make money somehow.
Oh,
But
I know people in that business, and
I was going to say, you used to do
I
that.
did no, I didn't do that. I help people move products, but
Yeah,
I've never done that. I mean, it's a la uh, uh, storage wars. You go open up the door,
yeah,
see everybody's garbage, and try to figure out how to make money on it.
yeah.
I've done that once or twice. It's not that great.
I mean, the stuff that people are willing to put in a storage building is not stuff that they are really attached to. That's
Yeah,
been my
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I mean it's stuff. I had a storage unit one time, and I had a bunch of shit in it, just horrible shit, and I owed a bunch of money on it because months and months, and I was tight for money, and I really thought I just let the fucker go and let somebody have it. I mean, because there
Yeah,
was nothing in there worth a shit. Let somebody spend $500. I'll be done with it. I mean, the whole part of it is dragging the shit out and then doing what with it.
right,
I don't want to fucking
right.
do that. That
No,
required a certain amount of work. I think that Donald Trump coming up on April 15th, things are going to change dramatically because henceforth, from April 15th, he's going to be in court a lot. He's required to be in court. He's required to shut the fuck up because he will end up in jail if he starts outbursts like that in court. The judge is not going to want to play around and not going to want him play acting in front of the jury. So they're going to have to do something to shut him up.
no.
Either put him in another fucking room or put him in jail. They're going to have to do something because Donald Trump will not be able to hold his tongue.
I vote for jail.
I like
Put him
jail.
in jail. Yeah.
Did you really think that he sees going to jail for 2 days? He's willing to do that for fundraising? I don't know. I mean, that's that. This fucker's got ADHD. He shits his pants. He needs his Adderall. Uh, if he thinks going to jail is going to be a fun thing for him, even for 2 days, he's in for a fucking big surprise.
Yeah. I mean, well, at least nobody will touch him. He doesn't have to worry about that. No, get away.
You know how bad it's got to be the stinkiest guy in prison? That's that's going to be a problem for him. That's definitely going to be a problem for him. Well, Ed, we're going to wrap things up here. I can uh, regress back into my anger. I got one more
All right.
TikTok to do, and it's not going to be pleasant.
Oh,
Um,
I'm
but
looking forward to it.
it's a quandary for me.
Yeah.
My for principal, it's just about the money. They're not kicking me off the app. They're just kicking me out of the creative fund. And people are going, "Oh, you're whining because you're not going to get paid." It's not even that. It's not about the money. It's why they're doing it. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. Um, and I get a lot of views. And so when I
Yeah.
get a lot of views, they make money. Why would I
Right.
want to continue to make money for them if they're fucking screwing me? That makes no sense. But at the same time, I feel a certain responsibility to the people who follow me. I do it for them first and foremost, not
Yeah.
for the money. And I would do it for no money. But there's a principle of the thing. These fuckers are doing something that's just not right. And it's like I'm a big company, so I get to do whatever the fuck to you I want. And too bad. Well, I it's a quandary for me. I may do enough TikToks just to keep my account alive, but put everything on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and fuck them. And I'll be honest with you. YouTube doesn't pay me as much as what I get on TikTok. Instagram and Facebook pay me nothing. I'll continue to do that in order to get the word out. But I'm just fucking annoyed right now.
Well, I'm annoyed for you. And if they're smart, they'll pay attention. Everybody, once again, if you like the rational boomer, send TikToks a nasty note saying, look, you guys need to take a look at this. Mike's being exploited. He's making you money. Let him back on the creator fund and
Yeah.
get rid of these guys. Get rid of these clones because they are reprehensible.
I mean, even with the creator fund, if I got the money every month and I just turned it over to charity, that's the point isn't putting money in my pocket. The point is you're taking advantage of somebody. And if nothing you and I stand for is we're tired of taking shit and tired of being taken
Yes,
advantage of, and that shit's got to stop.
exactly.
All right. Well, Eddie, thank you very much for joining us again today. It's always a great conversation. For the folks at home, appreciate you taking the time to listen and hope you have a great day. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh,
one
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Let's promote your shit.
Yeah, visit me at Holler Troll on TikTok for now. At Holler Troll.
But you can find them on YouTube too.
Yeah, the same thing. Reeling in the years or at Holler Troll, same thing. Works good.
Absolutely.
And I'll see you there.
All right, check out Ed. He's got some great stuff. It's different than what you hear here. It's entertaining. If you're old, you might remember kind of a Paul Harvey feel. It's not unlike that. It's maybe even a little bit better. Maybe I shouldn't say that because people love Paul Harvey, but most of those people
Yeah.
are old like me or dead. So
Soon.
forget Paul Harvey. Ed is an individual and unique. So check him out at Holler Troll, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook too. I think, aren't you?
I do reels on Facebook sometimes. I don't use the Holler Troll thing there, or I don't think I do. I don't know. I think I just use my regular
Uh,
stuff there, but
okay.
I don't do those much anymore simply because they only give you a minute and a half, and that's hard,
Yeah,
to
it is
limit.
hard.
Uh,
It is hard to do.
you know,
All right.
sometimes I edit things down and put them on there. But anyway, I'll see you on TikTok or YouTube.
All right. We will again have a great day and we will talk to you tomorrow.